Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode in my next Total War Warhammer guide. In this guide I'm going to be discussing the units available to the vampire counts. And in this first episode I'm going to be discussing zombies. If you've seen The Walking Dead, you may feel the need to order a full retreat when you see a horde of zombies shambling towards you. But thankfully, these zombies are not nearly as deadly or infectious. That doesn't mean that there's no cause for alarm, however. Zombies are the vampire count's cheapest fodder unit, excelling at wasting the enemy's time by forcing them to cut through hordes of virtually worthless bodies, and are quite possibly the best unit of this type in the entire game. At only 150 gold per unit, zombies are magnificently cost effective if you look at how many soldiers and how much health each squad has. And since they're undead, they will not rout either, unlike the fodder units of other factions. And like all undead units, they have access to fear, which lowers the leadership of enemy units whilst they are near the zombie squad, whilst making the zombies themselves immune to fear. If you compare their cost to how many soldiers and how much effective health you're getting, zombies are an absolute bargain. However, while zombies are superb meat shields, they are lacking in almost all categories. They barely have any armor to speak of. They're slow, their melee attack and melee defense are both abysmal, their weapon damage is low, though admittedly they can still do some damage, they have virtually no charge bonus, they are unshielded, and they don't benefit from any special abilities unique to them, which means zombies generally suck at any role that is not acting as a meat shield. As such, zombies generally find their use at the head of an army, where they absorb enemy missile fire, artillery blast, and enemy charges, so that the more powerful undead units behind them may be spared. Alternatively, they can also be used to tie up high-value enemy units, who will no doubt beat the zombies, but not without tiring themselves out and hopefully losing a few soldiers to the hungry horde in the process. However, since their entire value comes from their high health and numbers, there's not much point in trying to use them for any other job. Their lack of offensive power means they will struggle to beat any other unit one-on-one, especially if those units are at all decent at melee. Typically, zombies will have to rely on sheer numbers to overwhelm enemy squads, or are forced to rely on the support of more powerful undead units to help them win fights. They're too slow to be used for flanking purposes, and on their own, their low leadership often means they crumble as soon as they're surrounded. There is, however, one small note I'd like to add if you do use zombies. Zombies move slower than pretty much all other undead units, which means that if you move your army in formation, it'll slow down your whole army having zombies in your ranks. How much of a problem this is will be based entirely on how much ranged firepower your opponent brought. If your opponent only has a few handgunners, this won't be a problem. If he brought the Empire's entire siege arsenal, having your army trail behind some zombie squads may be more trouble than it's worth. One potential fix for this issue is to use the spell Van Hell's Dance Macabre on Overcast, as this increases your army's movement speed and gives it a melee attack bonus. Granted, you'll miss out on some of the melee attack bonus until your army closes the gap, but that's probably worth it if it saves you from several Hellfire rocket barrages. In the campaign, zombies are only good as filler if you can't recruit any better units. While their upkeep and recruitment costs are laughably low, thus tempting players to just create several horde armies of just zombies, the issue is that zombies won't win in an equal fight against the melee units belonging to other factions, which you can't afford in the campaign, since each additional army under your control increases your total unit upkeep exponentially, thus limiting your ability to overwhelm your enemy with zombie squads alone. In the multiplayer, if you include zombies in your army, use them what they're intended for, as cheap meat shields leading the front, absorbing all damage heading towards your army, or specifically direct them against enemy elite units to tire those out. If they wear down a squad of elite enemy soldiers from fresh to tired, you can already consider that a win, even if the zombies inflicted minimal casualties. If you're looking for a more reliable unit for the same role, try Skeleton Warriors instead. They're deadlier and more versatile even if they're twice as expensive. There's also a zombie unit of renown, known as the Tithe. Pricier than regular zombies, the Tithe has almost a third more in health over regular zombies, sees boosts in all stats, and most importantly, benefits from a 15% physical resistance. Which means that against non-magical attacks, the Tithe is the ultimate time waster. And let's face it, anything that uses magical attacks is likely to be something expensive the enemy doesn't want to waste fighting a squad of even more durable zombies. The Tithe can be used as the centerpiece of your zombie horde, or can be used alone to soak up large amounts of damage, so your other units don't have to. Just keep in mind that while the Tithe is a big upgrade over a standard zombie unit, it also costs 2/3 the cost of a regular zombie squad extra, and it still has the same issues that regular zombies have, just slightly less pronounced. So, to summarize, zombies are incredibly cheap and have a lot of health for their cost, and have a lot of soldiers per unit. But they lack the offensive power as well as the durability to take on most units one-on-one, making them the ideal meat shields. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next episode of this guide.